Hi there, this is Bill Bandy with InsuranceAnswers.com. That's insurance without the I, answers.com. This video I want to talk to you about life insurance. And I know that your eyes probably just glazed over thinking about it, but I'm going to make it short. I'm going to make it to the point, and no more than 5 minutes, and we should have all these basic questions answered. So the first thing I want to do is I want to mention that I put together 4 levels of life insurance. Those levels are in descending order, 1, 2, 3, and 4, with number 1 being the most important, number 2 the second, 3rd, and 4th. I recommend that you build your life insurance plan based on these levels. You don't have to do it that way, it's just my recommendation, and you'll see why it follows a logical sequence. Level 1 is what we refer to in this business as final expenses. And the questions I want to ask people when it comes to their final expenses, the first question is, who's going to pay for your burial or your cremation? If you have not established a burial plan independent of your employment, then you stand a chance of not being able to pay for your burial. What ends up happening sometimes is people have their life insurance or their burial plan through work, either lose their job and don't take it with them or can't take it with them, or they retire. And then they find out at 65 or 62 or whatever it is that it's either very expensive to get life insurance, or they find out that they sometimes don't qualify. Second question you want to ask is, who is going to pay for the burial of your loved ones, including your children or your spouse or anyone you're financially dependent, that's financially dependent on you. And I know that, again, we don't like to talk about these things, but it's really important that you need to be able to pay for the burial or final expenses for everybody you're responsible for without dipping into your family budget. The average funeral and graveside service and plot and marker, we're looking at about $12,500 nationwide. So it's a little less in some places and a little more in others, but the point is, who can afford $12,500 right out of nowhere? That's why we end up having life insurance. And then ultimately my question is, how much is financial peace of mind when it comes to your burial or cremation expenses worth to you? In most cases, each person can get a burial plan that will cover their expenses for less than $1 a day. And in most cases, we can do that for a limited period of time, sometimes 20-year pay, sometimes you can pay it at once. Sometimes you can make an annual premium. It doesn't really matter, but and with the children, we can actually have a one-time pay program that gives them a program where they're insured all the way up through the age of 25, and then they can take over that program and have it for the rest of their life. The next 2 levels that we're concerned with would be debt elimination. The debt elimination is level 2. Level 3 is income replacement, and then level 4 is education fund. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this, but just know with level 2 debt elimination, what you want to do is you want to figure out how much debt you have, your car, your home, your credit cards, your student loans, and you want to make sure that if one of the income earners dies, that all that can be paid off. So I recommend using a term policy, a term life insurance policy, on each income earner for the amount of debt you have. That way, if you do pass, then the spouse that's left and the children will have all the debt paid off and hopefully be able to manage better on that single income. The 3rd level, as I said, is income replacement. I recommend 5 years minimum, preferably 10 years income replacement. So if your family's combined income is $100,000, one spouse makes $50,000 and the other spouse makes $50,000, what you would need for 5 years of replacement income would be a term insurance policy for about $250,000. Now, obviously, if you can go out 10 years, then you may need $500,000. The point that you have to remember, though, is if you're going to pay down all of your debt, your expenses shouldn't be as much. So if you don't have a house payment, you don't have car payments or student loans, you can probably get by on less. And again, these are going to be term policies for level 2 and 3 and level 4 that will expire usually after 20 or 30 years. And in some cases, we can set them up for 10 years as well. And then the final level is educational funding for your children. Usually that's a 20-year term policy. We figure you need about $100,000 per child. And then we recommend about $50,000 for the spouse that's left behind to get additional training. Anyways, those are the 4 levels. I'll be happy to sit down with you anytime. You can message me on Facebook. You can call me at 618-939-3443. You You can email me. Just get a hold of me somehow. I do look forward to helping you figure this out and get started with at least a level 1 plan. Again, this is Bill Bandy with InsuranceAnswers.com. That's insurance without an I, answers.com.